So for about a year now, maybe give or take a few months, I've been trying to cover as many horror games as I possibly can. Some of these are newly released horror games, some are older yet absolute classics, some horror games were incredible to play, and some others were downright atrocious. However, this game that has recently gone on my radar takes atrocious to a whole other level. Not just the game was a steaming pile of shit, but somehow the developers behind it are even bigger piles of shit. I, of course, am talking about the totally not a scam game called I'm Looking for 3024 People. Now this game is, not really a game, I think. 3024 People is a horror-like alternative reality game, otherwise known as an ARG, that was released to the public earlier this year by the newly created development team known as Bakudan Game Studios. Now just so you all understand, an ARG is very different when compared to any traditional game, and it's a little confusing to understand what exactly it entails if you've never heard of it before. Now, typically with a traditional game, let's say like Red Dead Redemption 2 as an example, you're able to differentiate between the world that you yourself live in versus the world he plays Arthur Morgan in. The only way for you to engage in Red Dead 2 is by using a controller of some sort to input different actions and commands to do certain things as Arthur. The line between the real world and the gaming world could not be any more distinct. However, alternative reality games starts to mix the two worlds together. In ARG games, you can do some real world actions like looking up certain things, getting an ominous text or email by said game, or going to a physical location that ties into the lore, anything like that. On top of that, whatever you do can affect the outcome of whatever ARG you're playing, so you always have to be cautious of whatever you do or whatever you research. This type of game is not new. It really started to sprout up in the early 2000s, I want to say, but it's starting to make some more waves in recent times, especially with this monstrosity like 3024 People. Now, with me explaining what an ARG is, you might be asking yourself, now Scrakes, this seems like a pretty straightforward type of game. Unless your puzzles are as dull as a Lanky Box video, there's really nothing that could go wrong, so why are you talking about this? Because somehow, some way, Bakudan Studios fucked up everything and pissed everyone off before, during, and after the game's release. From blocking this game off with an NFT paywall to copyright striking and silencing any creator that dares speak out against them, with the increasing threat that a lawsuit will soon follow, it seems like Bakudan is truly the worst indie team to have ever created. Let's start from the beginning. So working off the story of the ARG and going from there, the year is 1996 and you are an unnamed protagonist. You stumble upon an anonymous person online who has recovered some files and videos belonging to a long missing fellow named Frank. Now Frank was a part of a company some odd years ago that did some very evil things, but I kind of forgot what the company is, so we're just gonna say it's Home Depot. Now Home Depot was doing some no-nos which caused Frank to not only leave the company, but go on a years-long research to expose the company for all of its bad actions. However, Frank fucking sucks ass cheeks and couldn't get all information, but he did open up 3024 ports that anyone can just seemingly enter to find more evidence against the company. He also died, I think, so rest in peace, Frank. Not actually though, this guy was fake as fuck. So one thing that Bakudan takes pride in is their esteemed voice actors and actresses that partook in this ARG. Each of these actors took absolute pride in their work, and you can so obviously tell too. I mean, just take a listen to what Frank has to tell you about Home Depot.
I am a computer engineer. After graduating from my department with a first degree in 1974, I started working at a company that produces advanced technology, the name of which I will not disclose at the moment. I don't want to reveal its name. I don't want them to be ready for us, because I want this video to be published to everyone on the internet.
Okay, no, I'm playing. Every single character in this game is voiced by AI. Not one real soul recorded even just a single word for this project. Every single line for every single character is voiced by the work of AI, and you could tell too because it just did not do a good job voicing lines. Every character's voice sounds incredibly shaky, the emotions behind what they say were incredibly unnatural, and I really would not doubt that the AI itself wrote the scripts for these characters, as nothing that they said sounded remotely close to what a legitimate person would say. And that's coming from me, somebody who does not know how to talk in the slightest. This is embarrassing, and it gets even more embarrassing when you play the quote-unquote game that you have to pay $4 on Steam for. Anyways, after that anonymous person recovered most of the files that Frank had, he tells you that some of the files are encrypted and some more need to be recovered. He also says that you need to join the Discord server to unlock more minigames to understand the story, as well as connecting to probably just the one other person who's following this mystery. But taking a little pause on this and going back to the 3024 different available ports, this is where the whole NFT controversy happened. Originally, these ports were locked off, with the only way for you to bypass it is being a part of their damn blockchain, so that way you can trade keys with other holders, and on top of that, the 3024 availability slots would stay constant at 3024? I don't know what that means. I don't understand why only NFTs would allow no more or no less than 3024 keys. I would say go to their devlog to get some further explanation on why they wanted to use NFTs, but I shit you not, this is where I got this info from, and even after watching it 3 times, I just don't understand why.
While making the game, our idea was to distribute the game for free and give only 3024 people the right to participate in the special task. We were going to use blockchain technology when choosing 3024 people. In this way, the person holding the key could transfer the key someone else without duplicating it. Thus, even if the key changed hands, the number 3024 would remain constant. When we made our first announcement, we got reactions from the gamers. They didn't want to use NFT or any other blockchain technology. So we listened to them. We changed the layout of the game. But we still wanted people who own the game to have special permissions besides the game. We also solved this by creating a Discord bot.
Oh wait, yes I do. They just wanted money. It's funny because after the backlash that they received for wanting NFTs in their game project, Bakudan decided to flat out remove this feature. Cause I mean, like, who the fuck wants a CryptoZoo 2.0 in an ARG of all genres? Instead, they made those slots available for only the Steam game owners, which is still $4 to pay for, and then they received even more backlash for that. It's like Bakudan looked at their project and the vitriol towards the NFT feature, and they were like, I guess people don't like us including a paywall that is just a blatant cash grab that won't benefit the player, so let's just go ahead and make a standard paywall instead. Customers will love that. And then customers hated that, which made them change the requirement one more time, and this time they just flat out removed it, but it's hidden in the description of the video. Outstanding move. Now with the removal of the NFT inclusion, my question still stands. How the fuck are they gonna get 3024 people to be a part of a project this big and this unorganized? Well, apparently the developers of this game wanted at least 3024 people to buy the full game on Steam, and then for those same people to be in their Discord server as well. And once there was enough people to finally get this ARG actually going, the developers were going to individually send each person an original code so that they can have their own port reserved, which is just genuinely impossible. If you seriously think 3024 people are devoted to partaking into any project on the internet, even aside from all the controversies that this game has brought forth, then you're one of the most delusional and naive people to have ever exist. So with that said, can I'm looking for 3024 people actually be completed if the first requirement will never be reached? Well, probably not. Now, apart from the 3024 people website that you can go to, I guess, understand the story, I have been mentioning a game that is on Steam. A game that is $4 and will be the ultimate connector between what you initially know with the Home Depot versus what you will find out. This game is not meant for the faint of heart, as even just the slightest wrong move could end up as your downfall. Twists and turns, action and adventure, and of course, a little bit of horror sprinkled here and there. This game practically has everything you could ever ask for, and then some. The game is just a black screen and lasts for only 1 hour. Outstanding move. So this game is like a, it's like a chase scene where you're a blind person who could not see anything. What's chasing you, who you are, where you are, those are all just questions thrown right out the window. The goal of the game is for you to not die, of course, but with you not being able to see, your movement is limited. That's where your buddy Adam comes to help. He will guide you through whatever maze that you're in so you don't get attacked and killed by this weirdly compressed MP3 file. This game tries to work off of hearing rather than anything else, which is a unique concept. Apparently, there are some conversations later down in the game that you need to be perceptive enough to listen in and to understand, but I will never know about that as I quit the game about 10 minutes in. The gameplay feels incredibly repetitive. It is not tense in the slightest. They tried to advertise this game by having like no difficulties that you can choose, only in hard mode, so it can represent the 2000 and 1990s games that were incredibly hard back then. But in actuality, all they did was just not include a save feature. So, you know, 10 out of 10 game, amazing features right there. And my absolute favorite part in this game, which is the only thing I liked about this, was the fact that when they showed the gameplay off for this, they used a real game footage watermark just to let you all know that this black screen is Bakudan Game Studios certified. Now, what's great about this whole game and how it's a little fucking is that this isn't even everything that Bakudan has been under flack for. This last thing is hands down the worst thing that they could possibly do as a game studio, as any bit of hope for this ARG or any bit of trust for this company gets abolished almost immediately. Bakudan Game Studios decided that they wanted to silence creators who speak ill of their release multiple times. It all started last week when YouTuber John, no, not you John, this John, made a video on the game like a few months ago. Bakudan, I guess, got tired of this negative video towards them, as according to Sid Alpha, his video was the third thing to pop up when searching for "I'm looking for 3024 people" on Google. So much so that they flat out sent a copyright takedown notice against John, which left him with a removed video that he probably spent more time making than the developers making the entirety of 3024 people. After news broke out about this copyright takedown, their response was, and I shit you not, "Hello, we are not covering things up. We just want to prevent the spread of misinformation. This misinformation also consists of incomplete information and abuse of it. Some influencers degrade the game due to incomplete information. You should know that this game is not an NFT game. Steam does not allow NFT games anyway." Yeah, no, Steam was not the reason why you got rid of NFTs, no. "It takes at least 1 month for a game to qualify on Steam. The game has passed all processes successfully." Oh, so I guess like the whole flack for using NFTs is just not existent. "The other thing most of you are stuck with is the impossibility of the Discord puzzle. It is said that it cannot be done without trying it yet." What? It is said that it cannot be done without trying it yet. If we really try and think that the game is insufficient, we will extend the time. Simple as that. By the way, anyone can join Discord puzzles without buying the game. I haven't even played this Discord game. I heard some really shit things about this, like it was a really laggy, like, Blackbird. "You will always have the right to refund this game. We will release the demo of the game soon. Note, the first version of the game included NFT before release on Steam. But you could play the game without NFT. So the game was free. NFT is only required if anyone wants to own a slot. The video below is from the free version of the game." God, I love it when YouTubers or companies claim that they're fighting misinformation and defamation from trolls who want to bring them down. And so the only way to counteract that is by doing the extremely illegal act of copywriting someone else. Why would you copyright strike someone else, which is basically the act of saying that someone else stole your content, when nobody stole your content? In fact, how the fuck can you copyright someone who's playing a game? Actually, how the fuck can you copyright strike a video game that is nothing but a black screen? Do you own the color black, Bakudan? Am I missing something? If there was really misinformation or slander or anything like that, wouldn't the other strike, the community guideline strike, be the option to go? Wait a second, that's not a good option to go, because unlike copyright issues, YouTube is actually able to step in and tell you that what you're doing is stupid and scummy. Oh, how could I have forgotten? I also love their second response where they go on to say that the creators were then attacking good old innocent Bakudan. They're the do no wrong people, and that we're the shitty people because we need the content out fast, not right. And then they go on to tell the person they're responding to do the research themselves without defending their side in the slightest. This is also not the first time that there's been some copyright disputes between YouTubers and Bakudan Game Studios, as another YouTuber YouTuber by the name of Mazavs also had his video be taken down due to copyright issues on July 8th. And if you were also wondering, yes, Bakudan Game Studios removed and blocked countless amount of people who would go ahead and discuss all the Bakudan controversies on their Steam page. So now we know that there is a repetitive problem, and that if anyone has something to say about either the game or the company, well, then you're on the chopping block. In fact, I would not doubt it for any second in my life if this video gets copyright striked by these people. Okay, so a little update to this video. This all happened post-recording, so I'm of course over here frantically rewriting my script, but this is absolutely bizarre to hear. So John broke down his silence on YouTube regarding the copyright takedown with a new video about how he's getting threatened with a potential lawsuit, which I'll leave in the description. I guess Bakudan was tired of this false information that hasn't actually been specified or debunked, so much so that they're now trying to make the ultimate silencer. They go on to say that if they were wrong about DMCA, YouTube would have recognized that, which that by itself is more false information than any creator has said about this game, as YouTube cannot legally step in and say what is or what is not copyrighted material. They just have to say that yes, this is copyrighted material, you guys have to sort this out in court, and the video will be taken down for right now. Literally, the most that YouTube can do with copyright is tell creators if any other creator is using your content, and even then, YouTube themselves are not allowed to advise you if you should copyright claim or not. So where the fuck are you getting this information, Bakudan? Do you want to elaborate on this whole DMCA issue, or do you want to keep blowing smoke up your ass and keep acting like the victim? So in conclusion, fuck Bakudan Game Studios. That's really it. Somehow they blundered so many chances in less than half a year. It's so painfully obvious that the game's sole intention was to wring out as much money from the player base as humanly possible, and when that plan didn't go to how they like it, well, I guess it's time to silence the creators who call you out. It's absolutely insane that Bakudan thought that they could get away with this, that nobody would care if somebody's work were to be demolished with a click of a button, which is kinda ironic too, given the fact that they did this to stop misinformation demolishing their game, in their words. So yeah, fuck Bakudan Game Studios. Please don't buy this game. I unfortunately had to spend money on this. I'm going to refund this game back and get my $4 hard-earned dollars back. With that said though, I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys like this video, maybe hit that like button, maybe subscribe, maybe give me your social security number, anything like that. But other than that, I will see you all in a later video. Bye for now.